unless you're deep in the field.
Here come a large pack of front runners. Trouble off the corner.
31.
Several cars involved. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sterling Marlin, Mike Skinner. Jeff Gordon's in it. Bobby Hamilton. Kurt Busch is in the crash. Dale Jarrett takes to the pit road. Terry Labonte's involved. Caution's out.
I didn't see it, but it looked like some guys were trying to get in the pits, and it just stacked up.
All right, here they're coming off the corner, and I think there's going to be contact right there. Skinner and Kurt Busch get together. Turn Skinner into the wall head on. Labonte has no place to go. Neither does Bobby Hamilton when Skinner comes back across the racetrack. Now there's no place for anybody to go.
Who was that that just stuck by?
Nemechek, yeah.
And
John Andretti.
Dave Marcus gets down on the grass and somehow saves it.
He's almost as good as you.
I know.
And you know what? The 7 car was slowing down, coming in the pits. 31 checked up, 97 ran into him.
Yep.
Shot right across in front of Terry Labonte. Watch the back of this. Dale Jarrett, top right of your screen, going to come through the smoke, head for pit road.
Look, a lot of wrecking going on there, Dale. I'd be careful on pit road.
Jeff Gordon in 32nd place. One lap.
Whoa, there you go. There you go. This is it, guys.
Jarrett, Nemechek, Jeff Burton, Mike Skinner.
It's
One
over.
car hard up into the wall, joined by another.
And they just keep wrecking.
And the hits keep on coming.
And the big hit was Joe Nemechek. Brett Bodine on fire. Leaders will have to race back to the caution flag. Here comes, I think this is Sadler again. It is Elliott Sadler.
This starts by somebody getting crowded down on the apron here. Oh, Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett goes
Gets
down
bumped.
in front of the 21 car, wasn't that? Oh, no,
Jeff
that was the
Burton.
99 car. Oh, man, you're right, Mike. Nemechek took a hard lick. Then the 4 car.
Saw the lick that Brett Bodine and 11 took there in front of Joe Nemechek.
Steve Park.
Look at Blaney in the 77 all the way down on the apron, along with Jimmy Johnson in the 48 as well.
Nemechek gets hit once and then straight up and into the wall. The drivers call it the big one. And Darrell, I think we've accepted it's somewhat inevitable in this type of race. Let's see if Jeff Gordon gets through this.
Yeah, he got through him.
All right, let's go back and look at some of this wildness a moment ago off turn 4. Robbie went up the racetrack.
Oh, my goodness. Did you see? Oh, my goodness. 3 or 4 cars completely sideways.
Trouble off turn 2. Is this the big wreck?
Sure is.
Robbie Gordon, Steve Park.
See Ricky Craven.
Is that Kurt Busch? Kurt Busch sitting sideways across the track through the smoke. With the roof. Yeah, let's see what we got here. Uh-oh, we got somebody spinning down there.
Steve,
right in front of Robbie. Is that Steve? No. That's Kurt Busch. And look at that. I mean, these guys can't even see where they're going. Oh, that's a hard shot. Guys got caught up in that deal, and a lot of it just, there's nowhere to go. Look at Terry Labonte come through, right through the smoke.
Biffle goes between 2 cars. Poor Steve Park. Car just spin up directly in front of him. What was that?
He just lost it. Boy. And he didn't have a car close enough to really get the air off the spoiler, so it wasn't that. I'll be really interested to hear from Kurt when he comes back.
I saw Jeff Gordon's hand out the window down the backstretch. I don't know if he was saying, trouble!
Mark Martin in the wall. Several cars involved. Kurt Busch is in it.
Earnhardt Jr. gets banged up.
I'm not sure somebody was trying to slow down and get pit lane.
Casey Mears.
Bottom of the body.
Schrader's in the grass. Several cars down pit road.
I think somebody was trying to come to the pits, BP, and he did not tell the guys behind him he was coming, and then jammed it up.
I think that Jeff Gordon was trying to come to the pits. I think he tried to tell him out the window down the backstretch. Oh, man.
And what did Mark say? No mistakes. They didn't make one, but they got caught up in one.
He is so frustrated. He is so
The back of these cars. Here we go.
He's coming down the backstretch. We see the 42. Oh, I'm sorry. This is off turn 4.
Yep.
See,
There's a lot to watch right there.
I think Junior has some contact with the 17 car as he tried to go through that. Oh, and Biffle just barely missed the 10 car.
And I'll tell you who's lucky is Schrader, because he gets out of the grass, but Bobby Labonte gets stuck in it.
And I walked across that grass today.
That wasn't very bright.
watch the 42 slows down because he sees the 24 slowing down. Riggs slows down, moves up the racetrack in the 10 car, and that's what started the chain reaction.
And watch. Oh, Biffle just almost got into that crash. But you're right. Schrader was so lucky to get through that mud.
All right, man. I want to blow a tire here.
Oh, trouble! Here we go.
Harvick is around. In the grass. Caution is out.
That's Carl Edwards up against the outside wall.
Yep. They almost make contact again.
Sadler down through the grass.
Oh, more cars spinning down in turn 1.
Wimmer.
There's Wimmer. Number of guys went down pit road.
Yeah, you're not going anyplace.
Caution is out on lap 147.
9 car is going to be in the crash. This guy is going to be in the. All right, roll it.
Came down on Carl Edwards in the 99. And that Kevin Harvick was right in the middle of it.
And there's Busch going through the grass.
And there's a 22 car on the inside of Jeff Gordon. Oh, and Mike Wallace just squeezes by.
Was that Mike Wallace or was that Mayfield?
No, I thought it was Mike. Could have been Mayfield. I don't think Elliott Sadler hit anything.
No.
That was weird. I mean,
he's got a story to tell.
He really came down the racetrack. Doesn't take much.
Is that Rusty? Rusty just missed it.
Yeah, Mike Wallace did a good job.
Yeah, he sure did. You're right. It was Mike.
Wow. Robbie Gordon locks him up. He's got a right front flat, locking him up, trying to avoid it.
Watch from upstairs.
Watch his car on the high side. 31 car. Tough to see from that angle.
From that, yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out how the 22 car.
Yeah, that all happened later.
Yeah, all happened later. And he looked like he was straight back there.
I bet you the 5.
When we talked about, the 9 car of Casey Kane with those tires, look where he's sitting right now. And I'm telling you what, there's Michael Waltrip sitting there in the middle of that pack, too.
Hey, guys.
Here we go.
Turn to 48.
That's Jimmy Johnson.
This
Ruderman got
this
one.
is bad right here. Because they're going back up the racetrack.
Yaley is down there. Look out.
Nice job.
Nice job by JJ right there. Nice job by that whole group, right? Wow. Because the 48
guys are just
that's 4 wide.
Here's the 48.
And it's really started at the 8 car.
Oh, the 22 come out. He got bump drafted.
The 8 car and the 88 slowed down. I can't see who's behind the 88. It looked like Blaney just turned left to try to avoid what was happening in front of him, and he caught the 48.
It's Regan Smith in the 0-1.
You see the Army car up there, and they're start wiggling back there, and Blaney just turns left because they start checking up. But man, middle of a pack right there. And then the 44 Ruderman gets turned. It just, you know, then once it starts happening, you're just along for the ride practically.
Does Terry have it on board?
I don't know, but he's probably questioning why he's in that car right now. That was really...
South Florida. He's been on a roll, though. 3 top 5s in the last 6 races. This car was so good in practice, he quit early. But there's a crash on the racetrack.
On the backstretch. Big problems going down towards turn number 3. A lot of cars involved. Ruderman is in that. Gilliland is in there. Boyer. You see the 43 of Sorensen, the 83 of Vickers. There's Ruderman. Dale Jr. caught up in it as well. Smoke just pouring out of the 88.
And this is, you know, we talk about this racetrack all the time. The big accidents at Daytona. I'm not even sure where this one starts. You see the 12 car. Wow. He gets tapped. He gets into the back. It's like Casey gets in the back of him.
Yeah, and that's what happens with these cars sometimes. If you're not dead straight when you're hitting the guy in front of you bump drafting, you're going to turn them straight into the wall.
And you saw the 00 turn to the outside. Well, obviously he got hit in the back and turned the opposite way by somebody. Now look at that. You can see nothing. From where we were sitting right there, you could see from there, you could see nothing back all the way to turn 2.
Yeah, Casey definitely got into the 12, didn't he? Watch Ruderman in the 00 come around.
Yeah, well, at this point,
right? Oh man!
At this point, when you're behind something like that happened, all you can do is look straight, hold the steering wheel straight, get out of the gas, and hope you don't get run into or you run into somebody. There's not a whole lot you can do in this situation.
And the thing is, the accident started. Here's what happens with accidents at Daytona and places like this. You see these guys still piling into the wreck down here. There were almost 3 wrecks
right now.
Tony Stewart trying to get to the bottom.
He may get turned for mirror driving, but he's going to be mirror driving.
Oh, Stewart's trying to squeeze in there.
See that hand?
Shoving to the bottom.
See that hand? He just wanted to touch him, man. Just wanted to touch him.
Can't get him to the high side. Here he comes.
There he turns him. He turns him.
Bush in the wall. Here comes Stewart to the checkered flag. And another car gets in the backside. It's Casey Kane. And they're scattering everywhere as they come to the line.
Some of these guys hit hard, man.
And one of them was Kyle Busch.
They're still hitting hard. Man, that's an ugly finish. But incredible. Incredible.
But that was 100% mirror driving, and that's what you have. That's what Kyle Busch had to do.
That's what Kyle Busch had to mirror drive. Tony Stewart had to put the car there and stick the car where. We saw this same thing at Talladega when the 09 car with Keselowski. He stuck his car in there, he drove it, he put it where it needed to be, and that's the way it was.
Look at the damage to his race.
Slid him up.
And slid him up the racetrack. You see him right here. He drives right to that corner right here. When he makes that turn, boom, I want to be right on that 18's corner and force him up the racetrack right there.
Okay, now Kyle's
blocks,
hanging on,
he blocks,
but he's going to block.
Back,
and it just ran himself over the 14 car.
And here's what happened. Just like we talked about at Talladega and everybody talked about, block me once, that's okay. Block me twice, you're going up in the grandstands or you're going in the wall. And that's what happened. The 18 made 2 swipes at him. One to the inside, one to the outside.
Yeah, this one's fair right here. This one's not fair. You kind of had it coming.
Yeah, he had that one coming. When you cut back across the hood of somebody after you've blocked him once, and Tony, once he blocked, Tony put the bumper on the outside of him. He was there.
Watch the 9. I think it's a 9 car
gets right in the back.
Just clobbers Kyle Busch.
And these guys, there's a 31 car touring, but these guys hit hard right here.
Logano finally, his luck ran out. He just
but you see these guys going across the racetrack. This is ugly down here. They're very fortunate nobody got hurt right there.
Trying to bump you. Stay on this yellow line. Chase up, coming up high. There you go.
Pick the rear tires off the ground. Now watch this next hit.
Oh man!
Wow. That's 180 mile/hour shot right there.
Man, that was brutal.
Very close together on the track.
Well, they can block the track right now if they wanted to.
Oh,
I'm telling you. Oh, hang on, Jeff Burton.
Burton up into Hornish.
He's going to come back up
and now the big one.
There it is.
7, 8, 9 cars involved, many which were running inside the top 10.
That's the whole field, isn't it?
That's the whole field.
Look at that. Nowhere to go.
And these guys were trying to avoid the 2 coming back up on the racetrack, and the first group that saw them check up, and everybody runs in behind them. That is massive right there. That's incredible. I don't think I've seen a wreck like that at Daytona.
That's a long time since I've seen that many cars in a wreck.
There was a Busch race or a nationwide racetrack,
because that's what happens. When you get in the grass, you're coming back. And he just goes diving down here after he gets clobbered by the 31. On the 83, okay, this started already behind, but the 83 got turned.
But they see that going on in front of them, and they're all jockeying for position to avoid that. And it's that chain reaction accident. You know what I mean? Look at the cars, man.
There's a lot of cars in that accident.
Menard did a great job. He got up on the high side and kind of got around them. But these guys,
all these cars have damage here.
You see the first group when you don't pay attention to what the 2 cars doing. Watch everybody behind them, because this is where the wreck.
Well, see what happened. The 83 checked up, the 12 checked up, and it looked like Montoya got into the back of somebody. And but there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it's just like you said, it's a chain reaction.
Drug his brake, and he let the 29 get back, the 39 jump back down there.
Takes a little time for him to get
wound
here
we go. Martin got turned by Joey Logano on that one.
And look at him back there.
Several cars involved, and it all got started when Logano got Mark Martin.
Truex is in it. Mark Martin's in it. See the
Stewart's in it.
33.
Sorry, guys. Like, yeah, 1 or 2. Logano just kind of finds himself in the middle with no place to go here. See how he's kind of sneaking up in there? Just ran out of room.
Regan Smith got a piece. See Travis Kvapil climbing in. David Rudiman.
Yeah, I'm not. You know, when you look at that, Mark's there, and Logano's there. I don't know where Mark was going. Yeah, to be honest with you, you know what I mean? I mean, look, Joey couldn't really go anywhere. They all were trying to get to the same place on the racetrack for whatever reason. I don't know why Mark tried to jump off the back of the group he was in.
1 year ago, David Reagan, a half a lap away from his first victory.
It's now time, isn't it, for the 20?
It's time for the 20 to do something, or...
One back there for your bike tag.
I'll tell you
the Reagan behind him.
David Reagan.
Behind the race leader.
David Reagan.
No caution yet. David Reagan coming
Still
back
wrecking.
to the start-finish line.
They're wrecking again.
Everywhere now.
They're wrecking again.
Reagan with sweet redemption gets the victory at Daytona.
2 separate wrecks on the last lap.
Great job. Thank you a lot, Matt.
Oh, man, these guys are flying by Newman.
He was a sitting duck.
No kidding. That's the scariest part of it being in a wreck like this, is sitting in a racetrack when guys are coming at you 180 plus miles per hour. That was scary.
That's ugly racing right there.
You can't beat Daytona. Trevor Bayne does it in the Daytona 500, his first career victory. And tonight, I'm sure tears of joy for David Reagan. So here's the first wreck, Kyle, that we talked about on the final lap.
Yeah, and it's hard to really say. You see the 9 car get turned, the 9, the 51, and the 00. It's hard to say right there because they're just in the corner of the screen. But in front of these guys, they're wrecking on around the corner here.
All this happened over
right here
in turn 3.
It looks like somebody got. It looks like Castle just slid up the racetrack and got into the left rear of Ambrose.
Yeah, and
he may have got shoved up. You know, by that angle, it's hard to see, but
it is hard. And the 00 had already been in an accident, and so had the 51 car of Landon Castle. These guys had already been in an accident, and there's Vickers getting in the middle.
Comes down, and I think the one is going to get hooked by, or the one in the 88 got together.
Yeah, it's like the
and
one
then
came.
It. Yeah,
it's like McMurray came down on Junior. Junior got down on the flat, had to come back up on the racetrack, and then, I mean, and this is the second wreck, as you said, and these guys are still just hauling the mail through.
But this
here.
is kind of typical for here, for as far as the finish goes.
Look at those
this
guys.
is normally where it happens. Those guys are finishing wrecking up in 3 and 4.
And in the background, that's great.
The post-game show.
Hey guys, I think you may see some drivers stretch it a little further on this run right here. Even though we're within the fuel window, I think
we got trouble, Larry. Coming to the tri-oval. A number of cars involved. Still spinning. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon on the grass, Regan Smith, Michael Waltrip back up through the groove, and there's Bill Elliott as well.
Yeah, and Jeff Gordon and those guys is third in line right here. But you see him slowing down to come in pit road. Now he slows down.
Yeah, Johnson got tagged.
Is it Martin Truex Jr. maybe?
I couldn't tell, but he got tagged early though. I mean,
look at the 24 right here. The 24 is coming down pit road and gets wrecked. They run into him from the back right there. And you see these guys already on pit road. So it's really going to be interesting to see when the light comes on.
Watch how hard Jimmy Johnson hits this inside wall. I'm telling you what, those soft walls or whatever you want to call them, those things are incredible.
And we've not always had safer barrier on the inside.
I've hit walls on the inside when they weren't there. I'll tell you what, it's a shot.
Watch his tires.
Wow, when it picks up the rear wheels off the ground, that's a hit. They clear Tony. It's gonna be over.
That was a good move by Tony.
Oh wow, who was that?
Denny Hamlin out of shape. Here's the big one. A number of drivers involved as they come down toward turn one.
Hold the brake. Oh wow, that was a ton.
This is big.
Man, was that Ambrose? Somebody hit a ton up there.
That was big. Biffle got hit a little bit and got sent back across the racetrack into the 11 car, I think is what we'll see.
Trevor Bayne, one of the drivers involved into this race, was Kyle Busch.
Watch the 16, yeah. Yes. And Hamlin just gets a big run. Got tapped. Did he get tapped by the 5?
It was close.
It's hard to say from that angle. It almost looks like he gets the 9. Look at the 9 car go back up the racetrack. Oh.
Yeah, David Gilliland, Dave Blaney, Martin Truex Jr. Saw Hamlin was involved. The damage for Kyle Busch, Juan Pablo Montoya.
And that's one thing, too, when these cars don't change direction very good. I think he went to turn to the left. It almost looked like Biffle maybe went down a little bit. But regardless, when you turn these cars as hard like that to avoid something, it's hard to keep them straight.
Yeah, it almost looked like I couldn't tell where the 5 car was. But it's like Denny came down across the hood, and the 11 and the 18 really looked like they got together more so than the 5 car and bottom. That 9 car took a tough hit. Yeah. And all these guys had no place to go because they're going.
That's the break that Tony needed right there.
This is going to be. They're
stacking up. They're stacking up.
Through turns 3 and 4
here we go.
For the final time. Big crash behind the race leader, Tony Stewart. That's going to allow Smoke to pull away. What's going to happen behind him? Can Burton get there? No, he can't. Tony Stewart wins it at Daytona.
Great finish.
From 42nd to the win.
To go up. He goes up. The 16's right there. He just. It looked like Matt comes down and gets into the 16 and knocks him down.
How many times have you seen it at Daytona? Someone's coming to the checker flag and they're everywhere, scattering in the tri-oval behind them.
I tell you, Harvick did a good job too, because Earnhardt was in the back of Harvick, actually turned Harvick down on the apron and just about had it saved.
Yes. Earnhardt took a hard lick to the outside wall. He got turned to the outside. You see him right in the middle of the race.
So did
back
Harvick.
Into the outside again.
Yeah, Harvick took a shot too. See the 29 go down?
Yes.
And then the 16 gets hit by the 17 and gets into Harvick.
Wow. It just
was
closes up.
Was that Newman on the bottom? No, that was
Eric
Almirola. He was just driving along, thought he had it missed.
Jamie McMurray, Kyle Busch, some of the other drivers involved. Travis Kvapil, there's Jeff Gordon driving through the grass. Gotta get wide. White flag is out. Next flag will decide it.
Wow.
Tony Stewart feeling good, and how about Kurt Busch in that outside lane with help from David Gilliland?
Oh, here we go.
We got trouble.
There we go. That's it.
Like I said, you lead at the white.
That's it.
You're good to go. But they may race to the finish.
They're going to let them race back here. That happened over in turn 2, so they got plenty of room.
Wow. Right. Let them race, boys.
Hopefully they're cleared when they get back down there.
Tony Stewart won this race last year. He's won it 4 times.
Shoving the 14. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but.
Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Off the corner, here comes Jimmy Johnson. He's dominated the race. Now he can see the finish line. That's Busch in the outside lane, not making a move.
Oh,
trouble behind him.
Danica.
Danica and others. Jimmy Johnson gets the win at Daytona.
Yeah, she got turned right there.
That was a dominating performance by the 48.
Yes. Complete lap 20 today.
Rickett behind you here, Rickett.
And now we have a crash. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. involved. Tony Stewart around. And that's Dale Earnhardt Jr. through the infield grass. Carl Edwards has some damage.
Kenseth just about had it missed, and looks like he ran into the 88.
Harvick,
wow,
Johnson,
a lot of good
Kyle
race
Larson.
cars. I mean, a lot of good race cars. Guys in the points.
Wow.
We're seeing it for the first time. It looks like Stenhouse got a little bit squirrely. Stewart came up and got into Jeff Gordon there. Looks like Stewart was just trying to avoid the 17.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell from that angle, but it looks like Stenhouse, as he gets squirrely, comes down into Tony a little bit. You see Stenhouse up next to the wall, sideways, comes down across, taps Stewart. Oh.
Yeah, no, Jeff was trying to avoid this 17 car and got into Tony Stewart.
Yeah, got in the right rear of Tony. Yeah.
Trevor Bayne, who won the 2011 Daytona 500, driving for the Wood brothers, and that 21 car got turned around. And Danica may have gotten a little bit of nose damage, but she did a heck of a job getting through and not getting caught up.
And you watch Tony here. He didn't move much, man. He just hung right. He didn't move at all. No. And then he got hooked in the right rear into Stewart, into Ricky Stenhouse. But Tony was doing what he needed to do right there. He would have gotten by that without any problem.
First part of this race.
Very true.
Outside lane, hanging tough here on the restart.
Oh, here we go.
Got trouble. That's Casey Kane that goes sideways. Joey Logano nowhere to go.
Oh, my. Half the field is gone.
The big one at Daytona has happened at lap 97.
That is the huge one at Daytona.
Justin Allgaier.
Oh, the 18 gets on its roof.
And Kyle Busch rolls.
Kyle, because you're so buckled in. Let's take a replay here. It looks like the 16 got into the 5 a little bit too hard and just turned him. And man, talk about getting piled up.
Watch the 3 car when we get another replay of Austin Dillon come shooting up through the middle and trying to avoid the accident.
26 of Cole Witt just got into the 18 to turn him over.
And watch Danica in this outside line right here. She and the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Wow, that 1 car's up in the air right there.
All 4 tires were off the ground.
He just launched.
That was perfect. I mean, she just slowed it down enough to let everything clean off in front of her, as Brad did.
As they got to the corner, as you get to these corners, once the cars go up, they will come back down.
Especially when they slow down.
Yeah, when they slow down, they just come back down the racetrack. And that was, she was in the right place in this line to be able to whoa her car down, not get run over from behind, and just kind of right there, she's nose to nose.
That Austin Dillon, they got through that. That 3 car, man, he did a nice job getting through there as well.
Nice job by him.
Turn and get in front of that lane. We saw it. We see it done correctly there. If it's done incorrectly, there'll be a wreck.
And around they go. The 38 goes sideways. David Gilliland sideways as they come out of turn number 4. Also involved, the 22 of Logano. The 32. Multiple cars involved in this one. Joey Logano damage to the right rear. The 26 of Jeff Burton involved. So the 38 of Gilliland.
You see right here, the 38's coming down to change lanes. There isn't room. He comes across the front bumper of the 15, spins him to the bottom, and it's the field very tight. You see farther back into the field, the 16 and the 10 get into the back, and the 22 spinners up across the track. And that's what happens in these tight packs. When there's a spin way up in front of the pack, everyone gets out of the gas, and it's so hard when you're only a couple feet apart. Another hard impact there with the 32 and the 38. When you're that close, you don't have enough room. If you don't slow down the exact same rate, someone gets spun out.
And you see right here, David, he's wanting to be on the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to get behind the 88 because he thinks that's the best line, but he just doesn't have it synced up. He did not get a good view of the 15, turned down on the 15s. Nothing Clint Bowyer could do right there. All he could do is get into him, and then everything behind him was just as a result of trying to miss this wreck. Here we ride with Tony Stewart. Coming off turn 4, he sees the smoke, slow it down.
Come all the way down if you want to. Slow down right there.
Take a look at what happens. The 42 of Kyle Larson completely sideways.
He gets down to the apron. You see the sparks where the track bar mount hits the ground. He saves it, but he comes up the track, has no choice but to connect with the 19, who then starts to spin. Brad Keselowski gets a face full of sparks. The 17 does go around, and now the track is blocked. Now these guys are trying to find a hole through, and the 2 gets woed up, and the 3 kind of gets woed up, but then you see Carl Edwards goes back up the track, and here comes Brian Scott with a full head of steam, makes big contact with the back of the 19.
Yeah, Brian Scott looked like he was going to be able to get through this clean. He was accelerating to try to get by the cars, but then up came Carl Edwards from the bottom of the track.
There's nothing you can do in that situation. You know, he just was coming at such a high rate of speed. Really nothing Brian Scott could have done.
Let's ride along with Carl. This will be a wild ride, too.
You see Carl, he's watching, going around a lap car right here. Larson just gets loose. Carl goes around, tries to shoot the middle, just didn't clear him.
Leader out front of the field. You can follow Miss Sprint Cup as the big one's happening once again, coming out of turn number 4. Into the wall, Kyle Larson. Multiple cars sideways. Martin Truex Jr., a lot of damage to the front end of his car. Eric Almirola also involved. There's Kyle Larson. Damage to the front end. Once again, coming out of turn number 4, a tricky spot on this track. Casey Kane, who was running up front all day. Why?
We've seen this time and time again. The 20 tries to come down on the 5. I don't know if he actually makes contact with the 5 or just the air gets him loose. Man, and then it's just a mess, right? When you have a trouble in front of that many cars, there's just nowhere to go. You see the 9 spinning, trying to avoid it. Once the smoke is that thick, there's just nowhere to go.
All these cars behind him right now, they're just trying to find somewhere to go, but there just never is. You just keep piling in. You're on the brakes. The guys behind you are running into you. You know, it's just a big. This is plate racing. This is what we talk about. This is what the drivers fear.
Right along with Tony Stewart.
Stop in here, back it down. Come down low, come down low, come down low, all the way down, all the way down. Come on down, come on down, come on down. Stay right there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. Watch out now.
The front of the pack. They work their way through 3 and 4. Into the triumph they come. Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the bottom of the track. Jr. will win at Daytona. And the big one happens behind them.
Oh my God.
Of Austin Dillon into the catch fence. All the crews getting out to that car to assist these drivers. Thumbs going up from all the crew members, and the crowd roars. Winning the race, but then the accident takes place behind him.
Yeah, the 11 gets kind of stuck in the middle there and comes across the Ford's bumper. As he does, he spins back in, gets the 3 airborne, and he just gets projected off the other cars right up into the fence.
He went from the bottom of the racetrack over 2 rows of cars and into that catch fence.
Here we go. You can see him on the bottom. Rex starts in front. He runs in the back of the 24. Gets up on the 11. Now he's on top of the 55. And now it's just along for the ride. Watch the car stop. Watch the car stop. It gets into those poles, and it goes from, I don't know what, 180, 190 miles an hour, I'm just guessing, to a complete stop. That is unbelievable.
And it looks like a toy. That's 3,500 pounds. That stock car is extremely heavy. You see here, after he's upside down, the 2 is spinning. Obviously, he's already lost control, makes more contact with the 3.
2 team has avoided the scare they had earlier with the water temperatures. The debris is completely removed. We've talked about Brad Keselowski being proficient at restrictor plate racing. 4 wins, and we've got trouble behind him, Rick.
around they go.
Down, stay down, go up, go up, go up, go up.
It looked like it was Eric Almirola that was the first to go sideways and then collecting numerous cars behind him. May have been the one of Jamie McMurray. It was a light blue car. Chase Elliott. That Sun Energy 1 caught up the window net down for him. Paul Menard in the 27. Jamie McMurray trying to get it going the right direction. Kevin Harvick.
Murray actually comes down and gets onto the left front. It's on from there. I mean, we talked about it earlier. As soon as somebody makes a mistake and you're in this big pack of cars, you're going to take a lot of people with you. It's just how it happens. You can. Some of these cars riding around the back actually got in the wreck as well. So one mistake by a driver, a mistake by two drivers, and this is what happens. It's not just those two.
And a bump there by the 48. The back bumper of Jamie McMurray. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. caught up. Danica Patrick also. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Brian Scott up on the hood of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Chris Buescher, 23-year-old out of Prosper, Texas, was involved. Also that 46 of Michael Annett, another Midwesterner.
Big impact. Jamie Murray hit really hard. Ended up getting clipped in the rear, turned him to the right. Hard impact, and all these cars.
To the car on pit road. Take a look at what happened.
Follow along Kyle Busch. Little wiggle right there. I think he had a problem. That thing just turned around on him right in front of the field. So look at all the big impacts, all the smoke. I didn't see any contact before he went around. I saw him wiggle, and then the car turned around sideways.
Well, in front of the field was the key. This is the fear when it comes to Daytona. The accident in the middle of the pack. You have to be committed. You have to be wide open. Look how fast that happened. Joey Logano, a hard impact into Kyle Busch. You see the 42 of Kyle Larson, the 78 of Martin Truex Jr.
He was
many cars damaged.
He was right in front of his brother. Kurt Busch was just behind him when he wiggled. Let's take a look riding along with Dale Jr.
Stay low, 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 low.
We're on board with Kyle Larson there. He locks it down, spins it to the inside. I don't see him hit anything too different. Nope, looks like
just in that inside line, the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Look at the hands on AJ Allmendinger. Up in the air goes the 42 of Kyle Larson. Caution comes out. And another contact. Matt Kenseth hits. The 1 of Jamie McMurray flying down pit road. Kyle Larson up in the air, right in front of the grandstands. See him removing the steering wheel. A lot of damage to Kurt Busch's 41.
We're done.
Big disappointment. Daytona 500 winner, hoping to come back and defend.
Take a look. This is what happened to the 42.
Wow. How did he get back on the ground without flipping?
See right here, he gets down low. The 17 of Ricky Stenhouse tries to fill the upper lane. The 42 tries to block. And as you said, the 42 was destined to go airborne. The roof flaps deployed, setting the 42 back on the ground. And as that happened, the 41 of Kurt Busch crossed the tri-oval, took a hard hit. This is another great action shot right here. Watch this 42. Hits the wall, then gets pushed into the air by the 17. You see the roof flap open. The car sets back on the ground.
The 21 of Blaney, he's in the brakes, just nothing you can do. Remember, Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane had got shuffled back. They got behind this wreck. Matt Kenseth did not get through it. Casey Kane did.
Got a good shove from the 2. Keeps the lead.
How about riding right in the middle now? Just waiting for whichever line. Huge push. And around goes a 2. Too big of a push. He caught the 41.
The big one.
Logano's caught up in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Denny Hamlin. Austin Dillon has damage. Daniel Suarez trying to avoid. Ty Dillon sliding in. A wreck 22 of Joey Logano sitting on the apron. A wreck 2.
All the Penske cars right there. The one organization that everybody came here thinking they had the best shot to win, all 3 of their cars wiped out in this accident a little bit. Because he was going to run to the back of the 24, because you see the 24 blocking here. So Brad's probably throttling down a little bit. And Stenhouse coming across the nose.
Yeah, so right here, the 17. Watch the 17 when he gets into the rear bumper. Right there, hits him in the right rear, and that's what sends him. We talked about that earlier. That's where you want to bump draft somebody. You want to bump them in the right rear. But when you do that and the speed's wrong and it's misaligned and also he's turning left, then that literally just shoves the left rear bumper to the inside of the car and it shoots the nose straight to the wall.
And we've seen this generation of car. These guys, their bumpers don't line up all that great. We don't never see these guys lock bumpers like they used to or like we see in the Xfinity Series. So too late. 18's on his quarter panel. He's going to side draft him right here in 3 and 4. Oh my goodness!
Sideways the 18 hard into the wall. Around goes the 24 as well. William Byron sliding all the way to the inside wall. Jamie McMurray caught up as well. Kyle Larson avoiding the 18. He went way down on the apron.
Take a look at the roof cam of the 17. So he gets into the quarter panel 18. 18's trying to get down there and side draft, and the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse is not following the 24, not following his line exactly. He's also trying to side draft. So Ricky's trying to side draft 18. 18's coming down to side draft to 24. Just a couple bad decisions there. Trying to, you got to be aggressive on the side draft, and that's what happens.
He's going to push the 20. The 78 of Martin Truex Jr. out front. Coming out of turn 4. Once they get the white flag, the next flag will call it the 14 around. Bowyer into the wall. The caution comes out just before they get to the start-finish line.
Some big impacts.
Bain caught up, as is Bubba Wallace. Brendan Gaughan also in this. The 48.
Bowyer and Bubba Wallace. Clint's on the inside. Bubba's got a little tire rub there, but he's shoving and he just turns, pushing so hard. And Clint was moving around on the front bumper. And it hooked him into the wall. That's just real aggressive bump drafting. Here's from the 43 roof cam. And he just turned him sideways there, hooked him bad.
Keep coming, keep coming.
That's just really aggressive pushing. Really aggressive bump drafting, which is what's going to happen at the end of these races.
Yeah, they got misaligned. When they got misaligned, here's Kevin Harvick.
I'll help you. Keep digging here. Hey, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Easy.
The track is the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Will he be able to get to the apron? He does. Can he stay out of the line as the racing continues? Austin Dillon up front. They shifted him out.
It's going to be a big one.
And now around goes the 3 in front of the pack. They're all collected. The 11 with damage, the 22 as well.
Big right here.
Smoke rolling out of the cars that even cleared this incident. They shuffled out. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, and then while trying to regroup, the 3 of Austin Dillon gets around.
I think he panics. What does he do? He goes back to the bottom, or does he block the 14? The 14 makes a move. The 3 blocks. You said it time and time again. Blocking causes accidents. This is an accident at the front of the field.
Yeah, it looks like Clint Bowyer's pushing the 3, but he moves to go inside, and that upset the 3 a little bit. Got the 3 a little bit loose, but the 3 headed on down the track to try to block anyways, but try to get down there and protect that line, protect that lead.
Let's go back and look at that first view.